What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is your review for the season finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 11. So first of all, what I want to do is thank everybody, thank all my new subscribers, and a special shout out, y'all know James Caldwell. You guys, it was really great today doing the live and all my new subscribers. So I hope you guys enjoy and you stick around. Now, with that being said, let's just jump into this Real Housewives situation, okay? So we start the episode off with NeNe talking to Marlo. And she's basically trying to talk to Marlo about her concerns and her problems with Cynthia being friends with Cynthia being friends with Kenya. Now, what precipitated all of this was that Kenya's baby shower was the weekend before this happened. And Kenya didn't invite NeNe to the baby shower. And it seems like NeNe and Kenya have been going back and forth on social media. Now, by NeNe's own admission, she started it. She started it when she questioned whether whether Kenya was lying about her pregnancy or not. Now, let's be honest. At the reunion last year, everybody thought she was lying because she was so evasive about answering the question about whether she was pregnant or not. The reality is she probably was pregnant or that they were going through in vitro, but she didn't want to say it because by her being older, in vitro not always being 100%, sometimes it can take 2 or 3 tries for it to happen. If it happens, she probably just didn't want to speak on it. But because Kenya has been sneaky and has played with the truth before, I think that the producers, Andy, and even her own castmates were just looking at her with the side eye. Now, with that being said, Kenya, knowing who Kenya is and being the type of person Kenya is, Kenya clapped back. NeNe has a very convenient memory. She remembers what other people do, but she doesn't always want to acknowledge or remember what she did. And in that conversation with Marlo, she admitted that she said something first. Now, they also talked about Greg deciding to have chemo, which, thank you, and we pray that he, gets better. Okay. On the other side of town, we have Cynthia having a conversation with Kandi. Now, for some reason, these names are killing me today. Cynthia is having her Seagram's event where she has a signature drink, the Bellini. And so, she's talking about that with Kandi. She's trying to get it into the OLG, right? And Kandi told me, you got to talk to Todd about that. I know that's right, Kandi. She said, I ain't mixing business with pleasure. I learned my lesson with tardy for the party. If you want to get in OLG, you better call the general manager of OLG, and that is Todd, and that is not me. But then they talked about Kenya's baby shower and how well it was and how beautiful everything was and how great it was. And then they talked about how NeNe was just throwing shade all weekend long on social media. And I kind of remember all of that was going on. At the end of the day, NeNe was mad she wasn't invited. Let's just be real. Let's just call. I don't have time to play games with this tonight. Call a spade a spade. NeNe was in her feelings because she wasn't invited. Because let's be honest. These girls, they go back and forth on social media. They throw shade on each other. They do all this stuff. And then they always get invited to the party. The difference is, though, Kenya is no longer on the show. And she's not obligated to invite anybody. These women invite each other to these events because they're obligated to have events. And they're obligated to invite everybody to the event. Kenya don't have to do that anymore. So she didn't. She invited who she wanted there. She didn't invite you. Boom. They also talked about Eva and the confusion about Eva and her finances. Now, let me say this. Because later on in the episode, there's a whole conversation with Eva talking to Mike and them talking about their situation. I honestly don't know Eva's financial situation. Not my business. I do good to keep up with my own finances. Do I think that the story she's telling, it seems like she's told 3 different stories. So, do I think that it's a safety concern? To a certain extent, I do. Not so much that I do think there's a safety concern. I think it's also a situation where if Mike wants to run for public office again, and we've gone through this here in D.C., if Mike wants to run for public office again, he has to be in Atlanta proper, and it has to be for a certain amount of time. There are a lot of legalities to running for public office. I think that maybe they're playing games with addresses for that purpose as well. It happens here. We see it all the time where people supposed to live in D.C. or live in certain parts of D.C. to run for certain positions, and they don't, or they move in just under the cutoff for the residency requirement and all that. I think it might be a combination. Do I think Eva is broke? No. Do I think Eva is flush? No. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Eva got to hustle and work to pay her bills? Yeah. But I don't think they're like destitute. But I could be wrong. Shit, I don't know. So Marlo gives NeNe some good advice, because Marlo was trying to defend Cynthia. Back over to Marlo and NeNe. I'm sorry. Marlo's trying to defend Cynthia, and Marlo's basically like, look, just pull her aside and talk to her. You know that y'all are cool, and Cynthia is friends with both. Just talk to her. Just pull her aside and just talk to her. And she's really trying to defend her. The other thing was, Kenya unfriended NeNe on social media. NeNe was like, Kenya knows how the blogs are going to pick up on that. She know it's going to cause drama. She know what it's all about. And I think NeNe was insinuating, because she was like, this is just made up drama. And she's insinuating that the drama was made up. I'm thinking to try to get back on the show, which it may have worked. But anyway, I feel like that's kind of where that's coming from, right? So, but Marlo gave her some good advice. Marlo was like, look, Cynthia loves you. Y'all have a really good friendship. Y'all have been friends for too long. Don't let this be the situation. Don't let this be it. Alright, the gender reveal. I ain't spending a whole lot of time on this gender reveal. It was supposed to be a carnival theme. The party planner fucked up. First and foremost, it wasn't ready when the guests arrived. If I'm paying you to do it, like, it's one thing if mama and them have a cookout and when I show up, ain't nothing on the grill. That's mama and them. Okay, we know food gonna get on the grill. Let's just go play some spades while we wait for the food to get on the grill. Auntie T ain't show up with the potato salad yet. The person who was supposed to pick up the plates and the cups, they still down at the grocery store calling, talking about y'all need some ice. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how it work when it's mama and them. But when you paying somebody as a party planner and it ain't right, we got a problem. We got a problem. And Porsha wanted this. She wanted a carnival theme. When she walked in, she wanted it to look like she was at the county fair. And I understood her vision, and I understood what she was saying. And that party planner, and taking his notes, yes. Oh, that's be. Oh, and I'm gonna have a man eating. Oh, yes, that's gonna be great. Yeah. I'm gonna have a bearded lady. I got somebody I know I can call. Right? All of that stuff. Get there. Stuff ain't set up. The big tent, he talking about something, we didn't know how to set it up. What you mean you don't know how to set it up? First of all, shit like that come with instructions. Second of all, that's something that, as a party planner, you should have done a driver. First of all, something like that should have been set up the night before. Like, when you do party, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, those of you that do parties, but I know when we do parties just amongst ourselves, you set up as much as you can set up the night before. So, something like putting up a tent, that should have been done the night before. Because that's something that is big. It does probably take a while to get up, and it probably takes a lot of manpower. So why would you wait till the day of the event to do something like that? Because then if there is something wrong, or you need a part, or something doesn't work out, you got time to go and get that thing. I remember one time at homecoming, we got this tent, and we couldn't get that tent up. Because the instructions were not in the bag, honey. And one of my friends talking about something, it must have been about 15 of us. Well, between the 15 of us, we got about 20 degrees. We can get this tent up. Clearly nobody had a degree in engineering, because we couldn't get that tent up. And then after we sat there and fooled with that tent for about 2 hours, then all of a sudden, the person who bought the tent found the directions, and it took us 15 minutes. See what I'm saying? So sometimes it's not how hard something is, it's about having the correct equipment. So what I like, though, because of course once Porsha showed up, a couple of things I liked that went down. First thing I liked was that Dennis was like, babe, I'm just going to let you know it ain't right. She said, what you mean it ain't right? He said, it ain't right. He said, now I don't want you to be pissed off. I just want to go ahead and just get you prepared that it's not what you thought it was going to be. He said, and what I like about Dennis was that, because of course Porsha got upset. She's hormonal. She's disappointed. So she was crying. She was upset. What I love is that her friends rallied around her and said, Porsha, it's fine. It does look like a carnival. It's great. It's beautiful. It's this, it's that. And they supported her, and they let her know it was okay. And they were like, look, we don't care about none of this. We here for you, you know. What I love also is that Dennis had her back. Dennis was like, babe, we're going to make it work. It's all good. And Dennis went at the party planner. And he wasn't off. He didn't go cussing him out and was ready to fight or nothing like that. But he let him know, look, this ain't cool. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. And I bet you his paycheck reflected it. But that's another conversation. So then they decided to do, Dennis said, well, look, we just going to push up the reveal. It's not a big deal. We'll just adjust accordingly. So they did the gender reveal, and we all know that she had a girl. Why did everybody's confetti come out pink except for Porsha's, who came out blue? Now, I don't know if that was supposed to be like a little joke because Porsha really wanted a boy, and it was supposed to be like a little joke to her, or if the dude, he screwed that up. He screwed that up too. I'm going to say it was a joke. But by the time they did the gender reveal and did all of that, everything else was set up and everything else went well. And it looked like they ended up having a great time. And they had the cotton candy and the hot dogs and everything was cool. So it worked out. And I'm happy for Porsha because she just really seems happy. She really seems happy. And, you know, things might have started off a little shaky at the beginning of the season with how we felt about Dennis. But Dennis looked like a real stand-up kind of guy. And it looked like he really does love her. So I wish them the best. I'm happy for them. So that's how the gender reveal went down. NeNe didn't come. Kandi didn't come. Kandi sent flowers. But Kandi's thing was, you know, me and Porsha cool. Me and Porsha in a better place. But what it seems really funny to me how Porsha always manages to not make it to anybody else's events. So I think Kandi purposely didn't show up for Porsha's event because Porsha doesn't come to anybody else's events. And NeNe said the same thing too later on in the episode about Porsha not supporting everybody. Which is why NeNe didn't go to her baby reveal, excuse me. Alright, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole situation. So it is Cynthia's and at the reveal, at the gender reveal, Mike was there with Cynthia. Mike gonna throw out, let's get married. Cynthia was like, what? Are you serious? He was like, yeah, like I'm serious as a heart attack, like let's get married. And Cynthia was like, okay, did you just propose, or like I'm not sure, are you serious? So Mike, I don't know if you threw that out there as a tester to see what she was saying, but yeah, I'm gonna need you to do a real proposal, and I'm gonna need you to not do it at somebody else's event. Like I'm gonna need you to come better, Mike. I'm gonna need you to come better. So Cynthia's having her launch party for her Seagram's, signature Seagram's Bellini or whatever. Here's the problem. Cynthia invited Kenya. But Cynthia knew that inviting Kenya was going to piss NeNe off. So Cynthia devised a plan to invite Kenya to make it look like she didn't know Kenya was coming. And she done brought Kandi in on the plan because Kandi brought Kenya with her to make it look like it was a surprise. So to try to keep NeNe's anger at bay, which didn't work anyway. NeNe was upset that Kenya was there. Then Kenya, in true Kenya, I'm going to rub it in your face fashion, got on the mic and said a few words. Cynthia tried, Greg showed up and everybody was happy. Cynthia tried to call Greg up to the stage so that everybody could acknowledge and send well wishes. NeNe wouldn't let Greg go up there. NeNe said, you right, you stay right here. You fine. You stay right here, you fine. Poor Greg was like, okay, all right, I guess I'm going to stay right here. The event went off really well. The only hiccup was NeNe, Cynthia's, Kenya situation. And I'm going to get to that in a minute because NeNe was pissed off. NeNe ended up leaving. Mike invited his whole daggone family there, honey. Marlo said you need to talk to her. Like, you need to snatch her ass, put her to the side, cuss her out, talk to her, do what you got to do. But don't sit here and be mad. NeNe had a conversation with Cynthia later, the next day or 2 days later or whatever. And she let her know how she felt. And she basically felt like, first of all, she said, you act different around Cynthia. You defend Cynthia when you don't defend me. And Marlo asked her early on, she said, how do you know she doesn't defend you? Like, you don't know what she says to Cynthia when you're not around. Just like Cynthia doesn't, I mean, just like Kenya doesn't know what you say to her when she's not around. So how do you know she's not telling Kenya the same thing she's telling you? Cynthia's thing is, look, I would love for all my friends to get along, but they don't. But at the end of the day, we grown, and I'm not getting in the middle of their shit. Like, I've tried to play both sides. I've tried to, but I can't anymore, and I'm not going to do it anymore. And so whatever they do is what they do. I cannot. NeNe walked in the door with an attitude because NeNe said she didn't know if she was going to come anyway. So she came in there with an attitude. So let's be clear. Cynthia kind of gave NeNe the business because I think NeNe was ready for Cynthia to be what Cynthia normally is and real apologetic and she's so sorry and I'm so sorry and I'm so sorry and here go my friend contract, NeNe, let's add an addendum, whatever. Cynthia was like, look, I'm tired. Like, we are grown-ass women, and we can't be in the room. She was like, that was about me. That night was about me. It wasn't about you. It was my event, and I should have been able to invite whoever I wanted to invite without it being a problem, without worrying about one friend getting mad at me and the other friend getting mad at me. She was like, so, and she said, it just wasn't about you. And NeNe's thing was, but you should have at least given me the heads up that Kenya was coming. Now, here's where Cynthia's plan went wrong. She thought that pretending that she didn't know Cynthia was coming would keep NeNe cool. NeNe's attitude was, it doesn't matter whether she showed up or not. As your friend, and you know that I ain't rocking with this chick, you should have let me know there was a possibility she was going to be in the room. Y'all, as much as I don't really want to side with NeNe on this one, I see NeNe's point about at least let me know you invited her. And let me make my decision. It's kind of what's going on with Married to Medicine and the whole situation with the ex-girlfriend being invited to the party. Let me decide whether I want this person, whether I want to be around this person or not. Give me the heads up. And of course they're going to build this whole situation up with Kandi and Cynthia finagling behind NeNe's back for Kenya to come. The way I read that whole situation was, it wasn't so much that they were tricking NeNe. It was, let's pretend like we don't know. Let me pretend like I don't know Kenya's coming so NeNe won't get mad. Which, of course, like I said, it backfired because Cynthia, dumbass, gonna call Kandi talking about something. Are you still on board with Kandi? Cynthia be forgetting she got on the mic. Because first when Kenya showed up with Kandi, Cynthia gonna lean over the mic and say, I'm supposed to pretend like it's a surprise. I didn't know she was coming. Bitch, you got on the mic. You know them shady-ass Bravo producers picked that up. Then she gonna call Kandi, and the first thing out of Candy's mouth was, I am might. That was your cue to shut the fuck up. Oh, but no, you gonna sit there and say on camera, on the mic, I just want to make sure we still on board with our story about Kenya. So, of course, NeNe saw that. That's what all of this has been about in these last couple of weeks in the social media, because they see the episodes before we do. So NeNe saw this episode a couple of weeks ago, and once she saw this episode and she saw that, then she really felt like Cynthia was just behind her back finagling for Kenya to be there. And what the rumor is that they're trying to get Kenya back on the show, and this was their way of trying to get Kenya back on the show. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but I definitely see where NeNe is upset. I don't agree with all of NeNe's reasoning. I really don't. But I do understand where NeNe's coming from and saying, look, you know I don't rock with this chick. And if me and you supposed to be best friends, we supposed to be like sisters, your loyalty, at the very least, your loyalty to me should have said, look, I invited Kenya. I know right now you and Kenya ain't getting along. Y'all ain't really rocking with each other. But I just need you to know that. Kenya done got a piece of some good, and she done grown a little backbone, and so she kind of got an F you attitude with everybody right now. And I think low-key, she kind of tired of NeNe's shit, so for real, she really don't care. I really don't think Cynthia done lost no sleep over this thing right here. I really don't. But y'all let me know what y'all think, y'all. Drop it in them comments. Peace.